Wouldn't it be great if you knew how a putt was going to break before you made it? Wouldn't you make a lot more putts or just get closer for the second putt? You're about to find out how tour pros read greens and how you can too, with the Breakmaster Digital Green Reader.
My partner Keith Barr and I invented the Breakmaster because we saw that golfers have a real need for help in reading greens. Misreading a green and making a bad putt is frequently a cause of frustration and high golf scores. We thought there was a better way than just eyeballing it, by using high technology to help golfers improve their visual awareness.
Since 40% of your strokes are on the green, this is an important place for golfers to focus on lowering scores. But up until now, golfers could only guess the slope of the green, and frequently they'd guess wrong, which leads to a lot of missed putts. Course designers make it even harder for golfers to see breaks through the subtle use of the terrain surrounding a green. Trees, mounds, or swales all play a part in deceiving golfers' eyes. As pointed out in Dave Pelz's Putting Bible, most golfers have an inability to see how much putts truly break. Golf course designers don't guess the break when designing greens. Likewise, pro tournament officials don't just guess where to put the hole. They use a level. Before the Breakmaster, this was the kind of tool that they used to design greens and set up pin locations on tournaments. It's bulky and only reads in one direction. The Breakmaster is a highly accurate digital level that reads in all directions. It's designed by golfers for golfers.
The Breakmaster will tell you information about what's happening on the green that your eyes can never see. The exact break direction, meaning downhill direction, as well as the exact amount of break, which is shown as degrees of slope.
Tour pros don't just guess the break before they putt like average golfers do. They work with their caddies to map out the greens beforehand and plan each shot. That's why literally hundreds of tour players and other golf professionals are now relying on the Breakmaster to improve their golf game. In this video, we're going to show you how to understand breaks and how to use the Breakmaster in practice and during the course of the game. We'll also show you how you can make professional yardage books that are legal to use.
The Breakmaster can't teach you how to putt, but it will teach you how to better aim your putt by knowing how the break affects the roll of your ball. The Breakmaster allows you to make informed decisions about your putting.
Let's first look at how the break of the green affects your putt. Outside of the putting stroke itself, there are two factors that account for the roll of the ball: green speed and the break. Green speed is measured by a stimp meter and given a stimp rating on the course.
Green speed is really all about feel, a stroke adjustment that most golfers make during the course of the game, as they become familiar with how fast or how slow the greens are playing that day.
But there is no simple adjustment for the break because it changes with every green you play. So what exactly do we mean by the break?
There are two factors involved in the break: the slope direction and the severity of the slope. Both of these are measured and displayed by the Breakmaster.
The slope direction is the downhill direction of the green at any one point. Often referred to as the fall line, this is the direction in which gravity is going to take your putt. For most of your putt, the stroke is the determining factor on where the ball travels. However, when the ball slows down as it nears the hole, gravity has increasingly more effect and your putter stroke has increasingly less. That's why the ball breaks the most as it nears the hole. The slope direction is indicated by the arrows on the Breakmaster display. Because of undulations, greens can have more than one slope direction. This is a map showing all the different slope directions on just one green. The dotted lines are the ridge lines on the greens.
You can see how the slope direction can take your putt in different directions in different parts of the green. If you're trying to do this by eye, it's easy to misread these subtle changes in slope direction.
The second factor of the break is the severity of slope, which the Breakmaster shows in degrees via the numerical readout. The higher the number, the greater the slope.
While in many cases it's possible to see the general slope direction, seeing the severity or the amount of slope is nearly impossible. You can see that the amount of slope can change a lot over the area of the green.
Since most golfers tend to underread the break, we'll now look at how slope severity can affect how much your putt will break. For our demonstrations, we'll be putting straight across the fall line at a right angle to the break. To make it consistent, we're going to eliminate the human factor and look at the pure roll of a ball by using Dave Pelz's True Roller. The True Roller accurately rolls a golf ball a determined distance and speed. Putting on a very slight break under 0.5 degrees will have little effect on your putt. You can make a 6-footer by putting straight at the hole. But look how much a 1-degree break affects your putt. In order to make this 6-footer, if you putt straight at the hole, you'd miss by 10 to 12 inches. So you need to offset your putt direction, what we call the aim line, uphill those 10 to 12 inches. By adjusting the aim line, we're no longer putting at the hole, but at a spot 10 to 12 inches uphill. Aiming at that spot holes the putt. Let's compare that 1-degree break to a 2-degree break. In a 2-degree break, we need to adjust our aim line 16 to 18 inches uphill in order to make that putt. On a 3-degree break, we need to adjust even more, 20 to 24 inches uphill.
Once you use the Breakmaster and it shows you the subtleties of a 1-degree break versus a 2 or a 3-degree break and how much that break can affect your putt, you realize these differences simply cannot be seen with the naked eye.
Knowing the severity of the slope is just as important as knowing the break direction. These diagrams are included with every Breakmaster. It's good to study them to get to know the breaks and the amounts of offset. The other factor is your position on the green relative to the fall line. Not every breaking putt is going to be at exactly 90 degrees to the downhill line. Are you putting straight across the fall line, downhill across the fall line, or uphill across the fall line? Without using the Breakmaster, it's nearly impossible to know and determine your lie relative to the break.
By showing you the exact downhill break of a given putt, the Breakmaster allows you to see whether you're putting uphill across the break or downhill across the break. Uphill breaking putts will break less than putting straight across the break. Downhill breaking putts, known as the downhill slider, will break more than putting straight across the break.
So on the green, if you're putting uphill across the break, allow for a little less of a break. Likewise, if you're putting downhill, allow for a little more of a break.
The Breakmaster can improve your understanding of the green beyond human visual perception. With a little research, you can understand the best places to hit approach shots to the green, as well as the areas to avoid. Knowing the exact break direction using the Breakmaster is infinitely preferable to guessing which way the ball might break.
Of course, the best way to get to know these variables is to practice regularly with the Breakmaster. Use it on every hole during a practice round. Take a look at your putt to see how you think it might break. Then as you walk to the hole to take out the flag, just drop the Breakmaster near the hole and get a reading. This tells you if you saw things correctly. Then make your adjustments to your putt and observe the results. In this way you will be learning from every putt. We recommend placing the Breakmaster within 1 or 2 feet of the hole regardless of the length of the putt. The reason for this is that the slope at the hole location is the one you most need to take into consideration when you adjust your aim line. If you're going over a bump or a swale on the way to the hole, you may want to take an additional reading along the intended line of the putt. The one question you might face with other golfers on the course is the question of, is it legal?
When we designed the Breakmaster, we knew that it wasn't legal to use during a tournament or a specified round. But there's no problem or illegality with using it during a practice round or a casual round with friends. When I play golf with friends, as I pull the flag, I take the Breakmaster reading and share the information with the foursome. It's our own local rule. We all shoot a little lower and feel better about our game. By the way, if you share your green readings with your foursome, it will definitely speed up play, since there's no question about how the green is breaking.
The more you practice with the Breakmaster, the better you will get to know the greens you play on to hole more of your putts.
So let the Breakmaster do the green reading for you, so you can concentrate on your putting.
We've seen how the Breakmaster can show you things your eye could never see. But what's the best way to use this information? Tour pro golfers make yardage books that also include a map of the greens.
Most golfers play the same few courses regularly. This provides an excellent opportunity to really get to know a particular course by making notes on that course that you can use to lower your scores in subsequent rounds.
This is an example of the kind of yardage book that's used on one of the major tours. It gives the tour pro and their caddies way more information than the average player has, and they use that information to plan their shots. Since the introduction of the Breakmaster, pros have also added to this yardage information with greens maps that show them exactly how the greens are breaking. This is how tour pros and caddies use Breakmaster to chart greens before tournaments. There is a fun and simple way for any golfer to create truly professional slope and yardage books. Google Earth and other free internet services like Windows Live Local, Globe Explorer, and Terra Server provide satellite and aerial pictures of the Earth. They include images of hundreds of golf courses in the USA and in other parts of the world. For example, here is Winged Foot in Mamaroneck, New York. You can see how we can zoom in on any hole or green with amazing clarity. Most of these programs allow you to type in a name or address to locate a particular golf course.
We're now going to look at a course and map one green for you.
Using one of these services, locate your golf course and then zoom in on a particular hole. Use the Rotate tools to orient the hole from tee to green, horizontally on your screen. Here we've chosen hole number 3. Then print the screen image. Print the picture of the hole so that it can trim into a 4 by 6 inch size. Some programs have a Tools drop-down menu that allows you to measure distances. Measurements should be taken from the center of the green. Measure distances to bunkers, hills, trees, water hazards, and other prominent features. Enter these yardage measurements on the print you made of the hole. For the next print, zoom in closer on the green. Keep the green in the same orientation as you had it for the tee to green print, meaning don't rotate it. Print the screen image of the green, again so that it can be trimmed into a 4 by 6 size. Use the measuring tool to measure the width and depth of the green and enter these numbers on your print. You can also measure and enter distances to nearby bunkers or other features. Continue this process for all 18 holes. You should have 2 prints for each hole, one for tee to green and another one for a large image of the green itself. Trim these photos to a 4 by 6 size, label each hole accordingly, and mount them into flip photo books that are available at any photo store. Take the printouts of the greens to the golf course and use the Breakmaster to measure slope directions and slope amounts for the greens. Take multiple readings with the Breakmaster to arrive at an average for an area.
It's perfectly legal, according to the rules of golf, to use the Breakmaster during a round, as long as you do it after you're done putting a hole.
Enter these numbers and arrows on your greens diagram. Unless you have the course to yourself, don't try to map out the entire green in one round. Just take a few readings, and over a few rounds, you will have mapped the entire course. You've just built up a custom and professional yardage book that you can use with confidence in casual rounds or even during tournaments. Now you can make informed decisions during your putting with no more guessing.
Use the yardage book information while you play to plan your shots better, avoid problem areas, make more breaking putts, and shave strokes off your score, just like the pros do.
We thank you for your Breakmaster purchase. You're now on your way to making more putts and lowering your scores.